Hi, family. Welcome again to my corner. This video is, I'm making this video just to give some of you lay people or your newbies in the word that we are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. I'm making this to give you some encouragement. And I'm just a lay person, so I'm going to give you my ideas as a lay person. As far as learning more about the scriptures, you have to search your scriptures. You have to look at YouTube and look at more of the Black Israelite brothers. They spit scripture all day long and they put it in a context. So that's what they do. I am just going to talk to you in layman's term. And I kind of figured out, I think, um, that the power that we have as Israelites, we don't even realize the power we have. Um, those ancient civilizations were built by us. You have to remember that. And um, the other nations have stole our identity and stole our technology and knowledge. They have hidden our history and oppressed us so bad until we have become ruined. But we still have a special power and a special connection with God if we will just wake up. And we're some of the most hard-headed people, but I can understand when you are taught Christianity for so long. I can remember some parts of my adolescent years. I didn't want to believe in God because I was thinking, why would God let all this madness be happening to us in this nation? Why did we have to go into slavery? And I just didn't want to believe in God at that time because I just couldn't believe there could be a God for us to be going through all of that turmoil and all of the wickedness and the hangings. So at one time, I didn't want to believe in God. But when I hear this message, it all makes sense and it gives a new hope and it gives a refreshing look at our situations. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in class, say in middle school or high school, and you got some niggas in there that are just dumb, they don't learn, they don't want to learn, and you know that when the teacher asks them a question, they're going to embarrass you or they're going to embarrass themselves, or they're going to say something smart or cuss the teacher out. The reason being, the school system is not designed for us. As a matter of fact, it's designed to do exactly what it's doing to our people. And I came to that conclusion by looking at some of these brothers on the street preaching this word. Now they know this Bible. They know it and they can explain it and they can spit more scripture out of one session on the street in 20 minutes than I've heard in a year in church. And they can explain it and they tie it together. And not once have I heard that Bible contradict itself because of the way they explain it. Now, I really believe, and that goes to show you now, those brothers are trained. They're trained for 6 months intensely on the Bible and history. Some of them travel. The elders in this movement, they travel, they've done the study, and they know how to teach our young men. Now, some of the young men on the street are probably some of those boys that were in a classroom and couldn't learn nothing. But in 6 months, those brothers learn our entire history, the history of world history, and they have unlocked and put together that Bible. Now, let me give you some statistics that I learned. I knew there were a lot of black people in the world, but you just don't know how many. I'm living in Seattle right now, and our population used to be 10, 12, almost 15% here. But since I've been back here lately, they say our population is 8%. But so just living in this area, you would think there's not that many black people in the world. So I just went to Alabama in 2005, and I saw more black people than I even knew existed on the whole world. So that the world view I had was very small. But let me give you some statistics on how many black people around the world that there are. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean Israelites, but these are people from African descent. Okay. Okay, and these are the top 10 countries, and this is how many black people are in these countries that identify as black. Okay, in Tobago, Trinidad, that's a small island, you know that. All right, well, it's on the northern coast of South America. It's a small country. They have 1.2 million black people. In the UK, the United Kingdom, they have 1.9 million black people. You know, that's a European country. In Venezuela, that's part of the diaspora. That's 2.6 million people in just the country of Venezuela. That's in South America. There's 2.9 million in Jamaica. That's a small island. There's 4.8 million in Colombia, South America. And I'm talking about black. I'm not talking about pure Indians. I'm talking about people that are black people. There's 5 million in France. There's 7.8 million in the Dominican Republic. There's 9 million in Haiti. And you know, Haiti is just a tiny island. There's 45 million in the United States. 45 million blacks. Think what kind of economy we have. And there's 80 million in Brazil. So right there, that list I just gave you, there's over 100 million black people in these white countries. And that does not include Africa. Africa's not even on this list. And you know how many millions are probably in Africa. So we're a pretty large population. If we can get ourselves together and learn our real true history and who we are, I believe that together we have some real brain power. Now, we are smart, and those brothers, after intense training for 6 months, if they could get all this world history and biblical history down to a science. They've got it down to a science. Think of what they can do if they put their real brain on something they're really interested in. We would be developing things. We would be, as a people, we would be developing new technologies, all of this. This is why they keep us down. I figured that out. Now, if you notice, if you have a carpenter or you get one of the trades that maybe someone only has a high school education, maybe they're a carpenter, or they do something with their hands. Haven't you seen black men figure out shit that other people can't figure out? That should tell you something. We are a special people. We're the best at contact sports. They can't beat us. We always hold the champion in boxing. We're stronger. We have more endurance if we're healthy and take care of ourselves. And we are smarter. We're just trained not to be smarter. So I'm saying that to say, I really would wish that we would get together and start looking at those YouTubes, the Black Israelites, and start learning, and our brothers start learning. And it's not really up to us sisters to uh, prophesize and spit scripture. But I would like to let you know that there are 7 feast days, and I'm still learning about them. And as I learn about them, I'll share with you. In a year, there's along with the 7th day of every week we're supposed to observe, which is the Sabbath. There's also, I'm going to tell you what these 7 holidays are. Feast of Unleavened Bread. Well, first there's Passover, and I think that starts in April. There's the Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Day of Pentecost, the Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacles, and at the end of the Feast of Tabernacles, there's the last great day. But I don't really know how to observe these days yet, but as I learn, I'll share with you. I do know that the Passover, I think it's kind of like Easter. It has a different time every year. This is 2017. This year it was in April. And I think it may be later in April and May next year, but as I learn, I'll share with you. And it shouldn't be that grievous. It shouldn't be that hard. But I think if we start observing the Lord's Day and um, praying to the Most High and learning all we can about Him and live the life that He prescribed us to in the Bible, I think that we as a nation will overcome. We really will, on with the power of God. And once the Lord gives us that power, um, there's no taking it away. So that's how you unlock your real spiritual power. Real spiritual power. It's not witchcraft, it's power from Yah. He'll give it to us and He'll show us. So we really need to start keeping these scriptures if we're serious about coming out of this bondage situation that we're in. All right, thank you. Shalom.